Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Tuesday, the 1st of June 2021. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to use the Celestial Tarot for today's reading. Let's see what the cards have to say about Tuesday and what you'll be working with. So I'm going to choose my three cards. Let's see what they have to say about Tuesday. And this is a reading for the first day of the new month. So I always find those particularly significant because they kind of give us an insight into the theme of the month. First, we've got the Ten of Pentacles, Earth. Then we have the Seven of Swords. And the Two of Pentacles. Right, so the Ten of Pentacles is a rebirth. Something has been planted, it's now growing, and you can trust that it's going in the right direction. So we've got this little fetus here growing under the ground. It's in a kind of seed pod kind of thing, and the first leaves are just starting to appear above ground. We've got all the earth signs in astrology. So we've got Capricorn, the sign of the worker, Virgo, the sign often associated with the nurse, having to do with analysis and detail. And then we have Taurus, a sign that can create beauty on planet Earth and that can really take charge of practical circumstances and work with them to make them better. Here we've got the 10 Pentacles, looking like a crown to me, kind of. It's a W, but it looks like the kind of points on a crown today, just looking at this card. So the ideal ability that you've got is to work in the physical, tangible realm to make things better, to plant seeds of intention. That's kind of like a new moon in astrology, to be a pioneer, to ask yourself, what am I going to do over the next kind of 30-day period? How am I going to apply myself? What makes sense to me in a practical way? And what do I actually have power and control over? What can I actually do that's going to be useful and that's going to make a tangible difference? The Ten of Pentacles is the highest card in the suit of Pentacles, and it often represents your hopes and dreams being realized when it comes to all of these things. And because we have a crown here, I get the sense that you have this unique ability to take your existing circumstances, to work with what you've got, and rather than lament that it isn't the way it ought to be, or that you should be further ahead on your journey, or that things have gone totally off the rails now outside of your control, I really think you're focused, you're willing to work with what is, and you're also willing to roll up your sleeves and to do the work. So that's really a good idea. And that's really what's going to take you far on this day and also this month, because you're not wishy-washy and you're not living in fantasy land. Both of your feet are firmly planted on the ground and you're willing to do the work. And the world kind of supports you by planting your efforts and ideas into fertile soil here where they can grow and become something fabulous. The Seven of Swords, we've got Mercury, the communication planet, which in astrology, again, is in retrograde at the moment. So communication is a little bit more difficult. There may be delays, there may be misunderstandings. Technology may act up a little bit. And we have Gemini, a sign that's ruled by Mercury, and it's about expressing yourself. The Seven of Swords usually has to do with kind of intellectual, the theft of intellectual property, or stealing someone else's ideas, or thinking that you're hard done by, so you're entitled to take away from someone else. It's feeling a sense of lack internally and acting out because of that sense of lack. The actions then, because they stem from a fearful kind of empty place, usually create more emptiness and more fear. And it's a card that often serves as a warning not to be so certain of your perception of the world and what is going on, and certainly not to give yourself permission to behave badly just because you feel like the world has treated you badly. So we've got this rabbit here, and that's associated with speed and kind of, you know, a lot of movement and a lot of fallout as a result of that movement. And each idea, if you act on it, especially if it's faulty, so if you've got the wrong end of the stick about something and you decide to run with it and communicate your dissatisfaction or to go into an argument because you feel like you've been wronged, then you're going to create lots of little circumstances which kind of cause you more problems and which you're going to have to spend time resolving. So it's important to do your research before you run off and decide to do something on a whim. It's important to really look at things in conjunction with your own intuition, with your feelings, and to say, does this sit right? Am I behaving in a way that kind of aligns with my beliefs and morals, or am I fed up and am I being unpleasant because I've just had it? So it's really important to kind of check yourself a little bit, especially if you're saying things which are destructive, or you're taking actions which are negative, or you feel really anxious and fearful and you feel cornered and like you have to do something. A big identifier of the ego is urgency. If you feel pressed to take action in some sort of form, even though you're not ready to do it, that often indicates that you're about to go down the wrong path. So before you let loose, really just take a moment and try and wait it out, especially if something irritates you, if you feel like, okay, I have to go on the attack. Try not to react in the moment and instead let it sink in a little bit. Check with your feelings, compare it to the practical things that you're actually working on, and ask yourself, is this going to add to the things that I am building and growing, or is it just a distraction and a lot of negativity and drama that isn't really going to serve me? And if it doesn't serve you, then try and resist the urge to go into attack mode, or to give someone a piece of your mind, or to really spread rumors, or whatever negative thing it may be. So the big difference here is, if you are practical and you work on something, you'll grow something that will serve you and other people. If you compare yourself and say, oh, aren't I hard done by, poor me, and you go into self-pity mode, then you create an emptiness within, and that's going to cause the wrong actions, which will then grow into problems that can really become overwhelming and can take a lot of time to tidy up. Finally, we've got the Two of Pentacles, and again, we've got Venus in Capricorn. So work with love, work on the things that you do love, work on things that allow you to nurture them, and that where you can see some growth. So this is a great month for all the gardeners and horticulturists and landscape architects out there. It's really asking yourself, how can I do something that shows my care and love and positivity through kind of demonstrative action, rather than talking a lot and creating more negativity and more problems for myself and other people. The Two of Pentacles is a card that says you are on top of your circumstances, you can deal with what's going on. So again, this kind of talks about the middle card, and it says that if something negative comes towards you, you don't have to react. I know that's not a big shocker for a lot of you, but I think for a lot of people it is a shocker. If someone insults you, you don't actually need to defend yourself. Or if something is problematic, you don't need to look at it right away. You can look at it in 2 hours or the next day. You have a choice. And if someone is coming at you, ready to fight, and you don't want to engage with that, you don't have to. So by being grounded, by thinking with love, by looking at what the ultimate outcome is, so playing the tape forward a little bit and looking at the bigger picture and saying, you know what, this is practical and this is positive, it's likely to succeed, I'm going to focus on that instead, you'll be able to deal with the things that come your way that are less than ideal, and you'll be able to minimize the negative energy of this. And Mercury is in retrograde until the 22nd of June. So it's something that you may have to deal with on more days than just this one. So it's going to serve you to remember this and to try and keep as grounded as possible, because this card is saying that's something that you're always on top of. And work and practical action and really getting down to the bones of situations, that's going to serve you. But a lot of abstract kind of drama really isn't. So it's just a kind of nice guide for this day, what to avoid and what to focus on instead. And not just for this day, but also for the majority of June, I would say. And I mean, that's not that great an insight, I would say. I mean, we all know that if you're engaging with drama and you're gossiping about your friends, that's going to come back and bite you, whether it's Mercury retrograde or not. But the cards are saying that because Mercury, the communication planet, is in retrograde, the negative effects are going to be amplified. So sometimes you can get away with negative behavior, you know? You feel rubbishy, so you behave a certain way thinking that it'll make you feel better, and you get away with it because no one sees what you're doing or there aren't really any consequences. But with this kind of energy, you're not going to get away with as much. So it's important to just not even engage and to save yourself a lot of time and hassle. Number-wise, we've got 10 and 7 is 17 and 2 is 19. 1 and 9 is 10. 10 reduces to 1 in numerology, and 1 is the Magician. And that is a card that says, listen to your higher self and your guidance and then take action, because then you can create wonderful things. Don't try and create a shortcut here and only work with one part of the process. Self-will and just doing things because you think they're right in the moment, or just completely checking out and, you know, just meditating for 30 days without doing anything. That's not going to work either. So try and be less extreme in the way you behave and take your time with things, listen to your intuition and then act. And again, use your common sense as well. If something like gossiping or getting into a screaming match hasn't served you in the past, then it's unlikely to serve you now. Because it is negative in nature, you know? It just creates more conflict. You're not going to improve your friendship by telling someone what you really, you know, or telling someone what every negative thing is that you've ever thought of them, and you think it's about time that they realize that. It's not going to make you two closer. So don't get it wrong here, and try and be kind and act with love and speak with love. So have a wonderful day. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on book your reading to order your reading with me. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe and share the video online. Have a great day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.